knowing the questions, needs, and possible objections of your readers will give you greater credibility in the eyes of your readers. If you can get a reader to start reading your sales page and you start giving them answers to the questions that are going through their minds already, if you start relating to those needs, if you start answering those objections that they have already, ahead of time, if you stay that one step ahead of time, if you've done your research and you know what these questions are, it's going to give you a greater credibility because they're going to see you as knowing what their needs are, knowing what those objections are, and caring enough to answer them. You've got the answers to the questions that they're already that they've got going on in their mind. This gives you credibility, and a lot of people are concerned about, I don't have credibility. Well, you can start gaining it right here with the copy, with your sales copy, with your emails, with the copy that your readers are reading is the best place to start gaining that credibility. And to be able to do so, you've got to research your market. You've got to know everything possible about them. Example of knowing who you're writing for. Let's talk. We're going to use the copywriting course here for a second, and we're going to use this as an example. Now, my potential market for a copywriting course would, potentially be anyone that writes copy or that may be interested in writing copy of any kind for any niche market. There's many niches out there. All of them have some kind of a sales copy. All of them maybe are dealing with email writing. They've got websites that they've got copy. So potentially anybody that needs copy would be an audience for my copywriting course. Now, actually, it covers anybody that's got a website. So any generic copy should work then, right? If only it was that easy. Remember, I want you to remember this right now because we're going to get into this in just a second, but remember, knowing your product and who it was created for is going to come into play here. And it's going to come into play in a big way. If you know who your product was written for, maybe it was written for the beginner that is getting ready to start learning copy. Maybe it's somebody that is trying to improve their copy. They can write it, but they're not really that great at it, and they want to learn some new skills and different ways to help it convert better. So you're talking about somebody that's probably a beginner copywriter. So, somebody that maybe can't afford to go out and hire a big time copywriter. So knowing your product and who it's created for is going to come into play in a big way. As long as you know the target audience that you're going after, you're going to be able to understand this a lot better, because it's not going to be just for everybody. And here's why. First of all, if we were, let's talk, if we're talking about this course that's on a more of a beginner level, that's given, somebody that's trying to get better conversions or whatever, are we going to be aiming for somebody that's in big business? Now, if we're just throwing it out to everybody, we're basically wasting a lot of advertising if we're going to be going for big businesses, because most of them have teams of copywriters in place, or they just go out and hire the big pros to do their work. They're not going to sit there and mess around with learning copy. So are they going to really be interested in a copywriting course? Probably not. My guess is they're not even going to take one look at your email or anything that goes out to them saying, hey, buy my copywriting course. Why would I buy your copywriting course when I'm just going to go out and hire the professionals already, or I already have this huge team in place that writes my copy? No, thank you. I'm not interested. Would you aim for a medium-sized business owners? Maybe and maybe not. They may be able to write copy already, or they may have a team to do it for them as well, or also they might be satisfied with the results they're already getting. Now, you may have some takers in this area. Maybe it depends on what your copywriting course is really aiming for. Is it aiming for somebody to, that maybe wants to learn some newer strategies, or to be able to take their what they already know and step it up a few notches? Possibly you could get a few of these people, but a lot of these that have medium sizes businesses, they're already to a place where they learned how to write copy themselves already, because they couldn't afford to go out and hire it done at that when they were smaller. So they probably already know how to, or they're at a place where they can start putting a team that in place that can already write it. So they're not going to be so interested. Maybe they would buy it for the team that they had in place if they wanted for them to improve it. Would you aim for small businesses or those looking to get started? This would be a big yes. They may not be able to afford to hire a copywriter, so they want to learn how to do it themselves. A lot of people that are just getting started out look at hiring a copywriter as something that stops them dead in their track. They go, there's no way I can afford to hire a copywriter. I could barely afford to buy the course. You know, how could I possibly hire a copywriter? They don't have that understanding. They don't have that mindset yet to know that going out and hiring a really good copywriter is going to get them better conversions and help them to actually start making sales, and it's going to be well worth their investment. But if they just don't have the money, they're not going to be able to do it. So yes, they might invest in your copywriting course to be able to help them learn how to write copy. They do not feel that they have the needed skills yet, so they're probably going to want to learn. They're looking to improve their conversions or sales. Maybe they've been trying it on their own, and they're just not happy with the way things are going, or they know that they can do better, so they're going to look for a copywriting course that is going to help them improve what they're already capable of doing already. So, you know, we have to really take a look at the big picture and really do some looking to find out who exactly our target market is. You know, we don't want to waste a lot of advertising dollars and things like that, and a lot of times writing our copy and stuff, and then send it out to the wrong market, because your conversions are going to be a lot lower. I would rather just aim for that small business person that's just looking to get started than I would to even worry about the big or even the medium size, because I know that most of my business is going to come through those that are trying to get started through my copywriting course. Now here's another one, an example of this as well, of knowing your target audience and knowing exactly what they're wanting and stuff. I went to the Warrior Forum because this is one of the greatest places to go out and do your research, and that's the warriorforum.com. There's so much that you can learn there. And you know, one of the things that I would do is, you know, while trying to do some research for a course like this, I went out and I went to the copywriting section of a Warrior Forum. And in there, I found several different threads that were going. One of them was said, using video in your copy. And I read through these, and it says, I've noticed a lot of ClickBank products are advertised using videos and audio. I've seen several pages that are just video and hardly any text at all. I find this to be really irritating and usually click away almost immediately. Think to yourself a minute, have you ever said that yourself? I'm not saying it doesn't sell, but I personally am turned off by it. Do you guys use a lot of embedded videos in your online copy? Do you think it helps as far as conversion rates go? Please say no. This is a person that just does not like to use copy or video in their sales copy. They don't like to show up to a sales video. There's a lot of people that do not like to see sales videos. The fact is that they convert, but are they converting with your target market? You know, in one of the responses here, you know, this guy did a pretty decent job of responding to this. And this is one thing that you need to get involved in doing it while you're doing your research, is finding different people that are looking for these kind of questions and providing answers for them, because it'll start building your credibility. So make sure while you're doing the research that you're also being active in interacting with the ones that you're seeing. You know, this person said depends on your market. If you're marketing to young dudes who didn't go to college and like to play video games, punk music, get stoned, and watching moron movies using video, or then you're going to use video. You know, and then they went on to say if you're marketing, and I'm not sure I like the person that wrote this, but if you're marketing to rich old conservative grumps with long careers behind them, poor internet skills, zero interest in the video games, technology, and so forth, then don't use video. So it basically comes down to knowing who you're marketing to. And just because you don't like it does not mean that you shouldn't use it. Or maybe if you do like it, does not mean that you should be using it as well. So you have to figure out who your target market is. Who is the majority on that market, you know, that you have? You know, are they going to be those rich old conservative grumps? If so, if they don't have a lot of technical skills, sometimes it's hard for them to watch the videos. Maybe they don't understand how to, you know, download a player or whatever to their computer that's going to help them watch videos, and they just, things just, things are really slow and their video just keeps maybe buffering the whole time or whatever. These kind of people are going to get frustrated, and they're not going to be interested in what you have. So you're going to have to maybe use a text sales copy for them. Where the young kids out there that are used to playing video games, are used to watching everything through video, they live on YouTube, they're not even going to second guess that video. They're not even going to want to read that sales copy, because they're going to want everything just right there visually for them to watch. But one of the things that I like down here at the very bottom,